Nier Automata plays like a platinum action game. If you've played Bayonetta, you'll feel right at home, but Nier simplifies the combat. This may not sound like a good thing, but trust me, it is. Nier is an action game for people who suck at action games. It decides to ditch the plethora of combos usually associated with the genre. Instead, it gives the player light, heavy, and ranged attacks. The player's moveset depends on which weapons they use, not how many button combos they've memorized. Using a sword and a spear, your moveset will be much different than two greatswords. Much like Dark Souls, each weapon is no better than any other. It all comes down to player preference. But this only scratches the surface of Nier's gameplay. If you've ever thought, I need more twin-stick shooter in my action games, Nier's got you covered. These sections aren't as jarring as you might think. These two types of gameplay are symbiotic. Skills developed in the twin-stick shooter sections are not useless outside of it, and vice versa. Outside of combat is where Nier stumbles. The open world is the game's biggest roadblock. I don't understand why the game keeps fast travel from the player until many hours in. Even with fast travel, the pacing is awful at times. There was this part in my first playthrough where I just defeated a boss that was itself a large difficulty spike. Upon defeating him, I was feeling quite smug, but a near hour later or so, I was confronted with the same boss again. Way to rob me of a feeling of accomplishment, Nier. My advice is ignore the side quests. They are an uninspired grab bag of fetch quests. Play Nier as it was meant to be, an action game, not an open world RPG. There is much more of Nier's gameplay that I don't want to spoil. This may sound odd, but Nier is a game that is always experimenting. Like the open world, everything it tries isn't a smash hit, but Nier's gameplay surprised me throughout my 25-hour playthrough. You should play Nier Automata because it is unique, and I do not use that word lightly. I've never played a game quite like Nier. The moment-to-moment gameplay always has something new up its sleeve, but the story is why it stands out. I'm not putting story before gameplay, but quite the opposite. Nier's story is special because it could only exist in a video game. Storytelling in video games is shying away from the game part. Games are leaning towards experiences rather than gameplay in regards to storytelling. There is nothing wrong with this, but Nier throws it all out the window. It relishes the fact it is a video game. Nier's story is powerful because it is a video game. The problem is you have to put in the work to get there. The first playthrough of Nier is fun, but not all that unique. After the credits roll, the game will encourage the player to play again. Without spoiling too much, I encourage you to follow its advice. Nier Automata is a game that loves to subvert the player's expectations. I'm certain they designed the first playthrough to trick the player. The first playthrough hints this might only be the tip of the iceberg, but it does this very subtly. This playthrough isn't bad by any stretch, but it isn't special. I fear too many players did not carry on after that. If you are enjoying Nier Automata, carry on all the way to the end. Not only will the game keep surprising you, but the payoff at the end makes up for all my complaints. Intentional or not, don't let the first playthrough throw you, because this game is special. If you want to play something different, if you think video games have fallen into a rut, if you think it's about time a video game took some real chances and experimented with the medium, I can't promise you every hour of Nier Automata will be captivating, but I can promise you Nier Automata will be one of the most unique video games you've played in a long time.